to India for this interaction. Your knowledge will be very insightful and we look forward to this talk. And without further delay, I would like to invite Mr. Moncho to present CeBIT 2018 to press and industry colleagues.
In the name of Deutsche Messergehen to the CeBIT press conference here in India. It's really a pleasure for me to have you all here and that you took the time to come and listen to what we have established for CeBIT 2018 and what's going to take place within June of this year when we open up the doors for CeBIT. Start off with a short video. What is going to take place? Well, this is a reflection of what is happening to the industry, what is happening to the economy and society in way of digitization. Digitization is actually being a huge challenge for everybody, for the public sector, for economy and for society, in a matter of getting your company, your business future-proof. And everything we do currently is focusing on generating business opportunities for our customers. We still believe that even that we're setting up a digitization event, it always takes a place where people personally meet. And due to that fact, we have transformed the CeBIT and we've set it up into a new way. We want to generate more attention and realize more business for our customers, and this we're going to do it with a whole new experience by setting up the event under the umbrella of CeBIT with 4 different platforms or formats which we are gonna generate. CeBIT itself we have positioned from a traditional trade fair to Europe's leading business festival for innovation and digitization. What does that mean? In the first place, it means that we are gonna look at 5 days of B2B core business. Just like I said, the factor is to bring the right people together to generate business with the core topic of digitization. Looking at the 4 platforms which we are having under the umbrella, there's on the first side the economy. The economy is focused on the digitization of economic businesses and the public sector. So there we are gonna see core topics for IT professionals. We are talking of all the software elements and all the hardware elements which are being essential to digitize your business. On the other hand, we have the second platform, which is called DTalk. DTalk is basically all the content which is taking place. Every conference, every side event that used to happen within CeBIT, we put together in D-Talk formats, and later on I'm going to explain more detailed what does that mean. On top of that, at the end of a day, and if we look at how business is going to be generated, we all know a lot of business is actually taking place. On top of that, looking at the times and the opening hours, there's also a change that CeBIT is now starting 1 hour later. We are starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the exhibition hours and the time the show is going to be open and all the exhibition stands within the hall is till 7 o'clock. So it's going to be from 10 to 7. We actually moved 1 hour later, both ways. And after that, we're going to open up the D campus, and we'll have the festival till 11 o'clock in the evening. Looking at the topics of CeBIT 2018, just like I said, the event itself is focusing on B2B business and all aspects of digitization. Looking at that fact, we do have the whole value chain of software and hardware, which is being the core of the show. On top of that, we have some focus topics, especially on the content side, which are major current trends and industry drivers, which are gonna affect our society, economy, and the public sector probably in the future. These are, for example, virtual reality and augmented reality. We have a focus on blockchain, of course, future mobility, human robotics, security, cybersecurity as one major aspect, drones, which we already started 2 years ago, artificial intelligence, and of course the IoT and the 5G as a basic for fast communication. Looking at the economy, I've already said, is the environment for decision makers. This is the environment for decision makers and for the IT professionals. Here we are going to look at professional IT companies who are presenting their latest state-of-the-art solutions and technologies, and how to make the IT infrastructure, the IT setup of a business future-proof, to get processes more efficient, and to make your company ready for future business. On the other hand, you have digital business and administration. So over there, we're looking for solutions for the public sector. For smart city regions, for example, we're looking at how to set up the workspace, looking at workforce 4.0. We're looking at data management, digital government, so pretty much every aspect of software-driven implementation within a company. Later on, I'm going to give an overview of how the fairground is going to be set up, and there you're also going to see that that there is a lot of things that has happened. D-Talk, already mentioned. Within the last couple of years, when you have been to CeBIT, there were a whole variety of conferences, of small forums, of setups that were taking place. And there were the CeBIT Global Conferences. We felt the necessity, together with the industry, to put all the content on a higher level, because the CeBIT Global Conferences, they worked out really well. There were a lot of thought leaders that were giving really interesting aspects on on digitization for companies for the future. So what we did is DTalk is now being the central place where all lectures, all thought leaders are going to be present, and we have DTalk formats within almost every hall, but it's a focus point where you get all the topic-driven insights within CeBIT. So instead of having 40 different conferences, we have only 9, which are being much more focused, much more on a higher level, and where we have thought leaders from all kinds of topics and industries which are taking place. This is already starting on Monday, and for example, Jaron Lanier, who is working within the Microsoft development office, he is gonna have a speech on Monday to start with, and give some on the insights of how digitization and the affection for everybody is gonna take place. So he's one of the thought leaders who is already confirmed. We're now getting ready to actually send out the whole overview of the international speakers, and this is just a small selection. Another person who is gonna show an insight on one of the core topics is Mikko Hipponen. He's a Finnish guy who is specialized in cybersecurity, and security is one of the major drivers for this year's show, since it's affecting pretty much everybody. If you look at the news nowadays, cybersecurity is something that is critical for every company, for every government, for every individual, since data has to be protected. So he's going to give an insight on that. The next platform, DTech. DTech, as mentioned, is focusing on all disruptive technologies. We've started with startups 3 years ago with Scale 11, which was the basis for this evolution to DTech, focusing on young companies who are actually introducing game-changing technologies and the transformation of business. Good examples for that are, for example, Uber as one, or Airbnb, which changed a whole way of an industry branch from one day to the other. And within DTech, we are exactly focusing on these technologies, and within halls 27, 25, and 26, we're going to have game-changing technologies such as virtual reality, for example, for drones, and also unmanned system overall. Drones just one part of it, robotics, which is one of the major drivers for the future also. There are, on the content side, people like from Boston Dynamics, who are especially focusing on robotics within the show. And we have within Hall 27 Scale 11 again. So a core platform for startup companies who are going to be implemented there, right next to research institutes from all over the world who are presenting their latest developments which are taking place within the digitization sector. All right, this was Scale 11. The campus, just like I said, CeBIT 2018 is focusing on the one side on B2B business. This is what the companies, what the visitors can expect the whole day. And in the evening, we want to give an additional opportunity for these professionals to meet in a different atmosphere. And that's why we have created the campus, which is our interpretation of emotional meeting place to do business. The campus is gonna be within the heart of the whole exhibition, and it's going to be staged as a digital street festival. It's a setup of a program which contains aspects of music, which contains aspects of dance. Of course, there's a culinary aspect with all kinds of food which is taking place. There's going to be light shows, so laser shows and stuff like that. So it is a festival with a core of digitization, which brings together exhibitors and the visitors, IT professionals, to do business in a different environment, and gives an additional opportunity to do so within CeBIT 2018. And this festival is actually being staged within the middle of the fairground. As you probably have seen within the last years, we have a open air space right next to where Vodafone did the racetrack within the last year, and there the D campus is going to be staged. A lot of big industry players really are being partners of us in development of the D campus. There are some different ways of approach the visitors over there, and there's also a fun component, because within all the business that's being done in the daytime, there is the possibility in the evening to have business and also fun. It can be together. And as you can see on the slide over there, for example, SAP is one of the companies who are really going into the campus. They are putting up a ferry wheel, demonstrating all kinds of business cases which are IoT related. So in every gondola you're actually going to be positioned at, you get a business case of digitization being explained, and also have, of course, the opportunity to go around and have a look over the fairground in this ferry wheel. A lot of other companies are doing special showcases on the D campus also, and this is just a small selection of the companies such as SoftwareGate, Huawei, SAP, Vodafone. We have Intel and IBM, and they're all participating there and have, besides their traditional expo booth, a different approach on how to interact with the visitors. To look at some numbers, we are actually now looking at past year's edition. So what can exhibitors expect, and what are we expecting? We're looking at 200,000 participants for the upcoming event, and 70 countries to be representative within CeBIT, probably over 3,000 exhibiting companies and exhibitors, and 100,000 companies actually participating within the event, since there are a lot of players that are participating with lectures, and it's going to be a buzzing place, a trade fair, and much more than that, a festival which is taking place in June the upcoming year. Thank you for your attention, and I'd like to welcome you for CeBIT 2018.
Thank you, Mr. Moncha, for sharing valuable information with us. If anybody like to ask any questions.
CGC is now going by another name, right?
Exactly. The CGC is going to be now D-Talk. So looking at that fact, we'll have 9 conference stages. You can see there the blue bubbles within the halls, and these are all stages where D-Talk is taking place. There's going to be a center stage, the main one, which is going to be positioned in Hall 27. But looking at that fact, we're not going to have the CGC anymore, and the conferences are now, every visitor has access to these conferences due to the fact that we have a different ticket system, and the participation for CeBIT costs now 100 euros to participate. Two weeks in advance it's going to rise to 200 euros, but looking at that fact, the conference is included.
Thank you.
We would also have State Government of Goa who are getting the startup pavilion to Hanover. It's still in the process, but the Chief Minister would, yes, and the state government is supporting the startup pavilion, so they would be there. ESC is taking a pavilion. They have a plan to get 40 companies in their pavilion. Like, it won't be a startup company, it would be a medium size of company who would be participating under ESC pavilion. In ESC pavilion, we are expecting altogether, we are expecting around 120 companies to be a part of CeBIT this year from India, yes. And we would have around 5 state governments who would be a part of it, including State Government of Karnataka, State Government of Kerala, and yes, ESC would be part of it. We also like in the past, we had State Government of UP and Odisha who was part of it. And this year also they're planning for the same, because they've got a good amount of inquiries from Hanover, so they would also be a part of the show.
One more question. You haven't mentioned who is the partner country this year.
We are not going to have a partner country this year due to 2 facts. First of all, since CeBIT has an all-new setup, we said focus on the new setup, and also setup of the German government took quite some time, and due to the fact that the invitation process and setting up a partner country does take a lot of preparations. We didn't want to rush into something like that, but would like to well prepare for the next years.